incredible aerial footage of the new Chatham breach. Next.
CapeCast.
Howdy folks, I'm Eric Williams and welcome to CapeCast, the official webcast of the Cape Cod Times. Cape Cod Times staffer Sean Tian had the chance to fly above the new breach in Chatham on February 13th, and he brought back this incredible footage. Take a look. And for folks who want to skip the airplane flight, you can get a pretty good view of the breach from the Monomoy National Wildlife Refuge on Morris Island in Chatham. That's where we had the chance to talk to Ted Kean, Chatham's Director of Coastal Resources. So Ted, what's going on here in Chatham beach-wise?
Well, as we all know, we had a good nor'easter. We had a lot of beach erosion up and down the outer beaches here. We weren't aware of it right away, but then we had reports that, as we're looking at here, are what we refer to as South Beach, which is the old extension of Nauset Beach prior to the inlet that formed opposite the lighthouse. This is really not an area that we monitor for, issues with buildings and infrastructure impacts, but it has been a beach that's been getting narrower and narrower, and this last storm, as we see, punched through, and we have a fairly sizable breach currently. If it does turn into a new inlet that's, in a sense, navigable, there are going to be a lot of happy people, because ever since this area closed off at the very southern end, what we refer to as the Southway, any boater that's on Nantucket Sound that wants to get to the east side of Chatham has to go all the way around Monomoy, and that's sometimes not a fun ride.
That can be some rough water down there.
Absolutely. You're into the rips, and the fog can set up down there, and Nantucket Sound can be pretty choppy, and it's a long ride.
So the good side of this breach could be a really great shortcut, maybe a safer way to travel for some folks. Are there any potential downsides to this?
Well, there are downsides. Just the access. This is a popular place to go. People like to walk down there. It's a long walk, but they still do it. South of this new breach here, the beach really has overwashed a lot, so it's really in tenuous shape up there, or down there. The other impact that we are closely watching, and our shellfish constable is quite concerned, they've really had some good shellfish resources develop in this area, and she's concerned that this could, with all these overwash occurring, could, bury a lot of what we were seeing as very, very good substantial shellfish resources.
And for folks who want to take a look at this, it looks like Morris Island here is a great place to look over. How far of a walk would it be to come down and take a look at something like that? And what about safety issues around something like that?
Well, it's a good walk. It's a couple miles, that are 2.5 miles, I believe. And it is something you would really need the time, from what I gather, at the right tides, because there are some other similar low-lying areas that at high tide, water does flow over it. So if you get trapped down here, you're going to have to sit out at tide, and depending on the day, that may not be very fun.